All right, let's just jump right in. Think about it. We spend a third of our entire lives asleep. A third. And yet, for most of us, sleep is still this huge biological mystery. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you why this thing that looks like we're just being unproductive is actually the most powerful thing you can do for your brain and body every single day. So to really get this, we've got to start with what's called the sleep paradox. It's this central puzzle that scientists have wrestled with for ages. And here's the question at the heart of it. From a survival point of view, I mean, it's just bizarre. Why would nature design us to do something that seems so incredibly foolish? I mean, really think about it. Shutting down, becoming totally unconscious for hours on end every single night, it sounds like a recipe for disaster. I mean, look at the disadvantages. You can't get food. You can't socialize. You're definitely not finding a partner to reproduce with, and you can't protect your kids. On top of all that, you're just a sitting duck, completely vulnerable to any predator that comes along. From a pure logical survival of the fittest perspective, it looks like a massive, massive mistake. But, and this is the big but, here's the paradox. Despite all those crazy risks, everything sleeps. Every animal we've ever studied, they all do it. So this isn't some weird human thing. It's a deep, fundamental part of life itself. And that can only mean one thing. The benefits of sleep must be so unbelievably huge, so absolutely critical, that they make all those deadly risks worth it. So, what are they? What is really happening when we close our eyes? Okay, so to figure that out, we need to pop the hood on the brain and look at the two main forces that actually make you feel sleepy. You can think of them like two different timers running in the background, and they work together to control when you want to sleep. All right, so timer number one is your circadian rhythm. This is basically your internal 24-hour clock. It's like a metronome inside your head, just tick-tock, tick-tock, creating a really steady, predictable wave of alertness and tiredness throughout the day. Then you've got timer number two, sleep pressure. This one's different. It's more like a tide rising. The longer you stay awake, the higher this pressure gets and the sleepier you feel. And that sleep pressure is caused by a real chemical. It's called adenosine. From the moment you wake up, it starts building up in your brain. And that is the physical sensation of feeling tired. So it's super simple, right? The longer you're awake, the more adenosine floods your system and the stronger that pull towards sleep gets. Now this is where it gets really cool, because it perfectly explains how caffeine works. See, caffeine doesn't actually give you any energy. Not a bit. It's a con artist. What it does is it rushes into your brain and basically puts a block on the receptors for adenosine. It's like it's putting its hands over your brain's ears so you can't hear the adenosine that's screaming at you to go to bed. But here's the catch. The adenosine doesn't just disappear. Oh no. It's still building up, piling up behind that caffeine dam. And so, when the caffeine finally wears off and that dam breaks, bam! You get hit with the full force of all that sleep pressure at once. And that, my friends, is the caffeine crash. It's this brutal payback that leaves you feeling way, way more exhausted than you were before. So, okay, our body is desperate for sleep. But why? What are the incredible rewards that make it all worthwhile? Well, it turns out that every night, your brain goes through this incredible process. You could call it a nightly brain upgrade. It's like a system-wide software update happening while you're out cold. And you've probably felt this yourself. This quote from a pianist just nails it. You know that feeling? You're practicing something, an instrument, a sport, whatever, and you just hit a wall. You can't get it, you give up, go to bed, and the next morning you just can, perfectly. That's not magic, that's your brain, working overnight, literally cementing those muscle memories for you. So the first big part of this upgrade happens in your deep sleep, what scientists call NREM sleep. During this phase, your brain becomes this super efficient librarian. It takes all the new, fragile memories you made during the day, which are kind of sitting in a vulnerable short-term folder, and it carefully files them away into the brain's long-term storage. It's literally the save button for your life's experiences. And then there's REM sleep. That's when you're dreaming. And this stage is, well, it's basically overnight therapy. Your brain takes these painful or difficult emotional memories from the day, and it sort of separates the memory from the intense emotion. So you can still remember what happened, but it doesn't hurt as much.
It's how we process things and wake up with a fresh perspective. It's how we heal.
Okay, so the benefits are huge. But what about the flip side? What happens when we try to cheat sleep? Well, the price you pay for being sleepless, it's not some far-off consequence. It is immediate, and it is absolutely brutal.
Let's just start with your immune system. Get this. Just one single night of only 4 hours of sleep can wipe out 70% of your body's cancer-fighting natural killer cells. 70% in one night. That is terrifying.
Okay, what about just staying safe? If you get behind the wheel of a car on 4 hours of sleep or less, your risk of getting into a car crash goes up by 11.5 times. Not 11%, 11.5 times more likely to crash. That's just staggering.
And if that doesn't shock you, this will. When you look at all the car accidents, the ones caused by people driving drowsy, it's more than accidents caused by alcohol and drugs combined. Let that sink in. Drowsy driving is a bigger menace on our roads than drunk driving. It's a massive, silent killer, and we barely even talk about it.
Which brings us to the most important takeaway of all. We have to change how we think about this. Sleep isn't an optional extra. It's not a luxury. We need to see it for what it truly is. The single most powerful health reset you have at your disposal. And you get to do it every single day.
I mean, this quote just says it perfectly. It's not just about dodging bullets, you know? It's about reloading your health every night. It's the foundation that makes diet and exercise even work. It really is Mother Nature's best shot at keeping us alive and healthy.
So, let's be crystal clear on this. Sleep isn't just one of the pillars of good health. No, it's the foundation that the other pillars, like diet and exercise, are built on. It is an absolute, non-negotiable biological necessity. You can't cheat it, you can't hack it, the consequences are real. And I'll leave you with this one last thought, and it's a bit of a catch-22. The cruelest part about being sleep-deprived is that you don't know you're sleep-deprived. Your brain, the very thing that's impaired, is what you use to judge how you're doing. So you're the worst person to ask. Which leaves us with a pretty direct question you have to ask yourself. Are you really treating sleep like the absolute foundation of your health that it is?